You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the April 15th, 2024 meeting of the LaPorte County Community Corrections Advisory Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for coming and or appearing on Zoom. And yeah, for those of you in the front here, then when you want to say something, they'll be able to pick it up on Zoom too. So, do we need a roll call?
Ms. Holly?
Okay, Deborah Ackerman?
Present.
Tommy Wolfenschultz? Bruce Ashley? Brandon Brooks?
Present.
Deanna Campbell? Carl Cunningham? Kurt Ernst? Spencer England? Steve Irick?
Here.
Sean Bacon? Robert Galloway?
Present.
Joe Haney?
Present.
Ron Heath? Ian Hobbs? Rodney McCormick?
Present.
Jamie Young? Dan Rex? John Stallburn? Kenneth Thompson? Ellen Wishblowski?
All right.
It's Sheriff He.
I think Sheriff Heeg is on the Zoom call.
I am on. It was just very hard to hear her being off the microphone, but I am here this morning. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Sheriff. All right. Everybody's received a copy of the minutes. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes. I'll get back to the agenda. I kind of skipped that.
Motion to approve the February 5th minutes as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then approval of agenda. We need to amend the agenda. Go ahead.
I need to motion to amend the agenda. The body cameras, we were asked 2 meetings ago, to make some corrections on the policy and replace patient with participants. And so we did that. So we're bringing it back before the board now. We just need to put it on the agenda so it can be approved and put
under
BOC.
Old business. C.
Under old business.
Motion to amend the agenda as suggested.
Second.
Any other amendments? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Director's report. Judge Oss has joined us, it appears. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Ms. Holly, you want to start with financial?
The financial report in January.
Hey, Holly, could you grab one of those mics so they can hear you too? There you go.
Okay, for the financial report in January, we collected $74,514.93. In February, we collected $88,666.09. And in March, we collected $84,995.85.
Status report. Ms. Garner. For the month of March, community transition, we had 1 participant, PS 162, Scram 4, Scram X 16, remote breath 1. We released 32 participants, we removed 21, and we had a total of 51 intakes. Violation report. If you notice that your violation report is going to look a little bit differently, we tried to make it a little more clear and more understanding, and also we want to use it as a dual purpose for JRAC. So you'll see just a little bit different that our top violations are going to be substance abuse use, out of bounds, payment of fees, and also our petition to revoke placement or pretrial is going to be the same: substance abuse issues, out of bounds, and also lack of paying fees. And that's the end of the director's report.
Okay. Anything from juvenile services? All right. Old business, building issues update.
So our F dorm is still on hold. We know that there has been a change of leadership in our maintenance department, and while they are trying to get those issues straightened out, or we're kind of waiting to see where that's going to place us.
Okay.
And the hot water tanks have been fixed. I know we addressed that last time, but they were addressed.
Okay. Any questions about where we are? Locks?
The locks, everything is in. BJ's has everything, and we're just waiting on them to begin, which should be sometime here in the near future. But everything is in, and we're set to go.
Awesome. And then the body cameras.
The body camera policies were updated to reflect the changes that were asked by the board. They wanted us to change patient to participant, and those have been changed. So we're just asking for them to be accepted so we can forward them on to DOC and move along with the process.
Make the motion, Mike, for the changes.
Okay.
Second.
Any discussion on that? All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. New business. Grant.
Our 2025 grant was submitted to DOC. It had a due date of April 12th, and I think we submitted it maybe 2 weeks prior to that date. So now we're just awaiting to see how much money they're going to give us.
That also included the DOC grant also encompasses a pretrial grant and a drug court grant that we filed as well. Not 2 weeks ahead, but we got it. 2 board positions open.
Victim advocate. The victim advocate person has not been, that position has not been filled by the county. So we can either find a victim, or if it's filled by someone to fill the position for victim advocate, they would take the place on the board. I do have some suggestions, but I will reserve those to speak to the office of the commissioners because it's their appointment. And the layperson, Mike Callahan, has graciously stepped down. He said that right now he's working on his master's degree and he just doesn't have the time to put towards the board. And so he stepped down, so we'll need to fill that position with a layperson.
Any thoughts, recommendations?
The layperson is also a commission appointee?
Yes.
They both are. huh?
Both are.
All right. I have the original list here in front of me. All right.
If anybody has suggestions, they should run it through Marika, I guess, to go to the commissioners.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Reach out to us individually either way. Yeah, just looking for
Okay.
folks to participate.
Okay. Wow, this is record time. Is there any other issues that anybody would like to discuss or bring up, or public comment?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. Anybody want to discuss that, or all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I think we're good. Thank you all.
Motion to start JRAC meeting.
Now we need to switch into JRAC mode. So we need a motion to begin the JRAC portion.
Make a motion, pass the K-Rec.
All right. Second.
Second.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
So we had a meeting in March about our JRAC. Our chairperson was Tyler Wazlewski, and he has graciously stepped down as well. So we do need to elect a new chairperson. for JRAC. So if anybody would like to step into that role or have any suggestions for a person to step into that role, I think I've kind of been filling the shoes currently until we get someone to fill that role, or I guess I could continue to stay in those shoes for right now.
What does it detail?
Basically, you're in charge of the meetings. There are meetings downstate that you have to go to. JRAC basically wants us to have a collaborative effort within the county to address the issues of the county, and you're responsible for making sure all of our parties get together so we can discuss these issues.
Yeah, JRAC is looking at the system from the beginning to the end and looking how it works and trying to basically help each section with making sure there's evidence-based practices, making sure we're doing things the best that we can, working well together, not duplicating services, those kinds of things. A smoother, better operation, I think, would be the way to put it. As well as monitoring our electronic monitoring reports that have to be submitted quarterly. There's a lot of the statute is huge as far as the scope, but what I think it wants us to do is identify areas within the system that could use help and work on those areas as a collaborative board, I guess. So that's kind of what it is. They talk about a system map, looking at the whole system when a person, well, even when 911 is called, all the way to when the case is disposed of, and looking at all those areas and how we can better improve the process.
Do we have any ideas for a chairperson, or?
Is there an IC code that governs that?
Yes, there is.
There is an idea.
I might have it here. Hang on a second. I might not have it, actually.
I can definitely forward it to you.
Please.
Well, do we want to table that for right now and go to performance measures?
Move to table the selection of a chair.
Have a second.
Yes, sir. Do you have enough room on your plate right now to be able to continue operating as de facto?
I can make room for it just so that it gets done.
Okay. All right, very good.
Rodney, that's 3338-9.5-4.
Can you repeat that one more time, please?
33-38-9.5-4.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I need a second. I'm sorry, second.
Okay.
All right, so we'll move on to performance measures. That's why one of the reasons the CAB violations, them being so much more clear, is helpful for us, because one of the things the performance measures wants us to do is look at what is going on in our community and what issues we need to address. So from a community correction standpoint, substance abuse is one of our main concerns, out of bounds, and payment of fees. Also, one thing that the county really is struggling with are mental health services. So creating performance measures to address those 4 issues are something that we really need to look at. It's not something we're going to be able to do today because you all are just now receiving the information. So it may be better for us to perform a subcommittee to kind of come up with those performance measures. But we do have to report our performance measures downstate. So we need to come up with those.
When do those need to be reported?
They don't give you a date. They just say this is something you need to have, and then at your end of the year report, they ask you for that information. So I would say by our next meeting date, if we had a subcommittee, they could possibly meet and come up with those. It gives us 3 months to work on those performance measures.
When you say mental health, can you give us a scenario of or example?
Right now, we have individuals who, I can say in community corrections, who have mental health needs. When they need emergency services, there's nowhere locally really that we can send someone that can address their needs, we have to outsource those services. And so people can go upward to Indianapolis and beyond because they need those services. There's some people who are in our system who are being incarcerated for trespassing, and it's a mental health issue. It's not necessarily that the person is trespassing.
So CIT has helped, I think, but there still needs to be better responsivity. I know that Judge Friedman now is working on coordinating and creating a mental health court to be able to take the people through in a problem-solving court process like a drug court, but it would be mental health. But yeah, our mental health people on probation and in the in the courts are being underserved because there aren't enough resources.
If there's no treatment, you're going to continue to have the same problem. I mean, just like continue to see substance abuse as an issue. I mean, you can have drug court all you want to. If there's no treatment involved, it's not going to work. That's why these numbers keep staying up there. That's my opinion. And
Well, drug court does provide treatment. And drugs have been a problem since probably before I started as a probation officer in '86, but you know, it's been going on forever, and it's always going to go on. It's just in the nature of the system, I think.
So what's the purpose of the community correction accepting individuals with mental illness issues instead of sending them to a state hospital or somewhere where they can get treatment?
Well, some aren't that severely affected. Some just they're functional in the community, but yet they have issues. And like Director Beatty said, that there are people that are being arrested for trespass. They keep coming back to the same place. And, you know, we've had several on our supervision that we just try to work through and support as best we can, but there's limited resources, even within our community. We have some mental health options here, but if somebody is has severe mental health issues, they need to be treated and get put on meds and get stabilized before they're back into our community.
Wow. Anything else?
Not for me.
Okay. And we are, I just want you all to know that collectively, probation, the jail, community corrections, we are probably providing more services now than LaPorte County has ever done as far as addressing substance abuse issues and mental health needs. But sometimes we're handicapped by what the local services, our options are here locally.
Yep.
So the next was evidence-based practices. JRAC is hardcore on evidence-based practices, meaning that they want to know what works and does research support what we're doing. Does research support the options that we're giving our individuals for substance abuse issues, mental health issues? So we just have to make sure that each time we meet that we are addressing evidence-based practices and we're making sure that what we're doing is supported by research.
And to support that, in June we're having the Indiana Office of Court Services come to LaPorte County to do a training for community corrections and probation officers in motivational interviewing, because evidence-based practices says determine risk of people and then find what areas of need they have and then motivate them into getting help in those areas, and that motivational interviewing will go a long way toward helping us in that. So,
and that segued right into training. There are some options for JRAC training. I did put our name in the hat, and I'm just waiting on them to reach back out to us to say, hey, the Office of Technology for Department of Corrections is going to come down and help us get trained in JRAC, but I'm just waiting to hear back from them.
is that technical assistance?
It's not technical, I'm sorry. It's just the Department of Corrections, the JRAC side of it.
Got it. Because there are technical assistance options that we can reach
Right.
out for, and they can come in and look at our data and help us go through that and figure out how best to move forward.
And that's currently what we have for JRAC. I would like to see if there's anybody interested in working on a subcommittee for the performance measures. Is there anybody interested in that?
I'll help you out.
Okay. Anybody besides me and Mr. Irick? Well, if you are, just reach out to me.
I'll get on that committee.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. If there's nothing else, then I would ask somebody to make a motion to adjourn the JREC meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right.
All right.
Thank you very much, everybody.